welcome to For the Sake of Heaviness. My name is Butch Ballich, and I am with
Merciful Mike, and we have a special guest tonight that goes by the name of
King Fowley, Fowley. Why? Because they named me that.
Good to see you, King. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, King.
Cheers to both of you. Thanks, man.
All right. Well, 40 Years of Deceased, we've got a brand new album out, from Luck of the Corpse all the way to the Children of the Morgue. Tell us a little bit about the recording process. How did it all come about? Because the positive reviews that we've been seeing are just crazy. So be very proud. It's a fantastic album. Butch and I have been absorbing it for a while and can't get enough. So give us a little bit around about how it all came about.
Sure. We really are all proud of it. It's a team effort more than ever. It's a family effort this time around. We always give 100%. I would say this time we may have given 106%. Somehow if we found an extra 6%, just going into it, I knew, there was some things that I know we've gotten better at as time's gone on, from the production to the arrangements and just everything in general. I hope after 40 years of continuously, every time you do something new, it's a little bit better than what you did before, at least what things it should be, from the playing to the production, et cetera, et cetera. But we knew we were going to go back to Oblivion Studios with Mike Bosher, who's family to us. And we knew we wanted to have some of the outside guys that, with the band, that when we play live, there's some different guys that play live more so than the other guys that play studio, mainly Mike Smith, who writes most of the material. He has not played live a full show since 2006 because he was in the CIA. He was the secret agent in the CIA, and he just retired. I guess it's 2 years ago now. So he's no longer Code Blue, and he can talk about it, and he can be himself, and he doesn't have to have fake aliases to fly with us and things, because he did have to have all that, which was pretty damn crazy. But basically, we with the live group, which usually it's me, it's Walter White, no relation to the Breaking Bad guy, on bass. It's Shane Fugel on guitar and Matt Eibach on guitar, as well as Amos Rifkin, who replaced Dave after Dave passed away, sadly, in 2018, on drums. We've been that way pretty much live most of the way, with an exception of some of the longer tours, which I'm mostly going to talk about Bulldozer. For those, we did 2 tours with Bulldozer back to back within about 14 months time, West Coast, East Coast, some Canadian stuff. And we used 2 friends of ours, a guy named Bean and a guy named Alan, who played a band called Earthling out of Virginia. Great players in their mid-30s, can get out, can get away from work. And that's the reason why some of the other guys couldn't go the full month at times, was basically the work schedule. I mean, you got to pay your bills and things. And like, for example, Shane's a master plumber. He's got his master's and all that and that things, and he can't break away. He's got his own business. See what I'm saying? Walter's a truck driver, and it's hard for him to break away and come back with a job. And it's, it is for a lot of bands and just people in general. You can't get too far away. But outside of that, like, basically the studio guys I've been for years. Mike Smith, who's been, like I said, one of the main songwriter as far as like riff wise since at least the late 90s. And Les on bass, Les Snyder, who lives in Texas these over a decade now. He plays bass on it. And then the coolest part was having Mark Adams come in, who's a longtime player. He stepped down and he sort of retired in 2007. And kind of, he used to live in Virginia. He moved to the Virgin Islands. He got married, and he's been there. He went through a lot of personal stuff for a long time, but he's a hell of a guitar player, and we definitely wanted him on the record. And he came in, and he cut more leads than anybody. He did 16 or so leads. Mike Smith right behind him, and Shane did some, and Matt Eibach, the live guy, did some stuff. And we had, basically, besides that, we had our merch guy doing some vocal things on the spoken thing for Fed to Mother Earth. We had Alan and Praveen got some spoken things. Even Walter was the bass player live. We got him doing some of the spoken stuff on there. We had Mike's daughter, Jillian, on there singing and talking. She played the part of Mother Earth this time. She was on Ghostly White with Pale Surroundings. Mm-hmm. And Mike Bosher, the engineer and the owner of the Oblivion Studios, we had him play a guitar solo too. He's a hell of a player. So there was all kinds of crazy crap going on this thing. And I really am proud of the songs, the arrangements of the songs, just the depth to them. As I kind of mentioned at other times, that basically, like, it was a tough record as far as the concept to it with death and everything. I mean, I lost my father when I was 5. He was 27 to cancer. That's something that sat with me since day one with this. It was 1974 when he passed away. And that sat there. My mother passed away on a whim too, health wise, in 2002. I lost my son's mother to a tumor, and she was in her mid 30s. So there's that. And then I've had health issues, blood clots in my lungs. I've had strokes, things like that. But, you kind of, I'm doing the arteries on this record, the arteries of dying, whether it be the person going to die or whether it be the people around him who love him are going to miss him when he's gone. What are they going to do when he's gone? Where's he going to go when he dies? Does he go on? Is there nothing, after you die, do the lights turn out, or do you go to a whole, does it start over?
Sure.
Do you go somewhere new? Do you see the ones who passed before you? It's all a guess. A lot of it's a guess. You don't know. And you can only put those kind of emotions and feelings in your own creativities, which makes it nonfiction fiction in a sort of a way. Right. So I did a lot of studying, not so much music, but I watched a lot of documentaries and a lot of things on dying. And there was some pretty awful stuff, unfortunately, that comes with dying. Watching children die of cancer, documentaries, undertakers talking to local people in local small towns, telling them you can't accept payment for funerals for 4-year-old children that were born with something wrong with them and taken off the earth pretty damn quick. So, death is not a good thing. Unfortunately, it's coming for all of us. It's the greatest mystery question of them all. Houdini couldn't figure them out. And basically, that aside, we wanted to just do what Deceased does. We're not afraid to put melody in there. We're not afraid to be playing Queensryche 1 minute and then blasting out something that maybe Deathstrike would have done in 1985 or an old artillery riff idea or a quirky Voivod thing or a spooky Black Sabbathy Doom Laden type of thing or something that's kind of like outlandish and out there, Emerson, Lake and Palmer wise, rock and roll with with an off timing. So we do what we do. We're not afraid to not tune down our guitars and gurgle like we're with Alka-Seltzer and things like that. It's just Deceased. It still is. It's death metal from the grave. We still 110% consider it death metal from the grave, which we've always done. And when it's said and done, and it's been out a few months now, we're really proud of it. We really all are, and it's done really good. Hell's Headbangers is they're very positive. They've got smiles on their face. It came out on cassette now, CD, and a double gatefold LP, which came out of Halloween. So it's all out there in all kinds of formats. We'll try to get reel to reel and 8-track for the completist soon. And all that. But yeah, it was a long undertaking, but we're very happy to say that it came out as we liked it to.
Awesome. I would say it definitely, the way you explained it, it was a complete family affair, which is really good. And then it's, relating to what you've been through too, a very cathartic experience, I would assume, for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely it feels definitely a part of it too. It definitely took some of it off me, left some, made some things stronger, made some things weaker, made some things more intense, made some things less intense, just a little this, a little that. But death is spooky. We're all getting older. We're all getting older. We're seeing our loved ones and friends die, and people that we watched on TV, watched in movies, the entertainment world, so to speak. You see people pass away, and it's just like, wow, it just comes for everybody, man. It's death metal, man. That's what it is. It's death metal, and we're talking about it.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's one. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No. Go for it.
I was just going to say one of the things I think is remarkable about the record is that, well, first of all, that the lyrics are so thoughtful, but also the just like you said, the different styles and the amount of melody that's in there, but at the same time, like, you're doing all these different things, but it doesn't lose an ounce of aggression. Like, it's still aggressive, it's still heavy, it's still going through the catalog, it fits. It's not like a record that some bands, when they take left, that they try different things and it sticks out like a sore thumb, but it like just fits. Like, I think it's really cool how that worked out.
That's one thing I'm happy to say is I think Deceased has our own sound. Like I say, I want, I don't have a problem being like Boston or the Cars, and people are like, what are you talking about? When you hear those bands, that they're those bands. There's no one really sounds like the Cars. No one really sounds like Boston. And I feel that way about Deceased. We've got our influences, we've got plenty of influences, but we don't really take from it as far as like stealing ideas. It's not that. Like, a lot of people borrow, steal, whatever you want to call it, ideas, but that's just not what we do. We kind of just we put it together, but I guess it's not such a musical nut buff, whatever you want to call it, I can tell if something like, hey man, that's right off of the blah 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 record. And I miss one now and then. I'm like, oh shit, never thought of that. Someone might say, hey, but it's never intentional. Sure, we'll say, hey, we want to have an old Slayer part, or hey, we want this to be like a Voivod part. But that's just to kind of get the guys' heads where they need to be as far as something like that goes. And outside of that, like just even when we're taking our foot off the pedal, we're not taking our foot off the pedal. I like to be that roller coaster that's going fast as hell and barely hanging on that track, but never comes off that track. It's always, you can rely for it to always get, make it home. We'll use the old, the roller coaster at Coney Island, for example. And, people always like, man, that it feels like it's going to break every time, but it's the most savage ride. And that's what we're going for. That's kind of what some of our ideas and just aura of this band are, stuff like that,
Yeah. I think you've accomplished that vibe. Butch and I were discussing the segues in between songs too. What were the ideas behind that? Because that really pulls the album together cohesively, vibe wise, and really, like Butch and I were saying, it really takes your head to a different place. So how did that all come about?
That's what I was going for. It wasn't like I wanted to erase the slate each time each song ended and go into the next one. I just wanted to kind of like paint a background to where we were kind of going with the next song. A friend had said the other day, maybe you should expand it on those and put them into the songs. But those songs are their own songs. They're their own thing. Even if they're just pieces of music, they're basically just setting the canvas up for the next painting, for the next scene.
Sure.
It's to kind of set a vibe, set a tone for this part, but it's not something you come back to with the album. The only thing we really come back to, as you would know, is the theme of the title track. We come back. That's basically the reprise. That's the part of the album where it is something where you're going full circle and who's next. It's basically what that's supposed to imply. But like things on there, like the uninvited dirge and things, it's just kind of setting you up coming from something like for example, Children of the Morgue, the song. Yep. I think when Mike wrote the main riff, I was like, man, that's so good. And Shane said, man, it's almost like a bullfighting part. It's like a ole and just bullfighting. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of strange considering what the record's about. But then I kind of thought it's kind of Rocky-ish, but it's like Rocky wins the fight, but Adrian dies. It had this twist to it all. And so when we come out of that, I was like, immediately I wanted to like take it to the Turn to Weather with the slow heavy bit, which is going to take you right in from there into the Terranaut, which Terranaut is basically the meaning of death with the record. It's setting the tone that basically when it comes in, I'm saying we're here on Earth. Let's enjoy it while we're here, but you're not going to get anything out of it when we're done. You don't get a reward for whatever you do for your time on Earth, good, bad, or otherwise. Sure. In my mind, that's how I feel it is. It's Children of the Morgue, and in life there is no reward. Is pretty much what I'm going by. And then it basically goes from there and just shows you then, all right, death's here. We're into the record, and now you're on to Terranaut. And when you come out of that, you're basically right into the Reaper's nesting. And then when needed, you're getting your way to the Gravedigger. And the Gravedigger is the only song on the album that's basically more of a fictional, and everything else is like I said earlier, it's non-fictional, fictional, because it's basically me guessing more so than complete facts on a lot of things. We are all going to die, but do we all die? Even when I'm saying everybody on Earth's going to die, are we? I can't give you 100% yes or no.
Right.
And so basically the Gravedigger is the story of how a guy starts having nightmares about his friend that's died, and now he's digging his grave every night. He is stuck. That's his nightmare hell on earth, and that kind of takes him his own place. And in Eerie Wavelengths, which comes out of that break of that song, takes you to basically fuzzy channels in the mind. He can't think. He can't get his thoughts right. He can't clear his mind, and then he goes down tragically as it goes on. We go to Fed to Mother Earth, where he's just like, hey, there really is no fucking purpose here, and loses all will to live. And I'm a pro-life. I love life. I'm all smiles, but there's something fucking, one of my engines is running funny in there, and I just go morbid. I guess it's my dad dying so long, so when I was so young and so long ago, that sat with me forever, So all those songs kind of come together, and those little pieces just kind of I don't know. You just want to knock down that last scene. You change the curtain. It's almost like. We'll use Iron Maiden as the example. Iron Maiden plays. The song's over. Here comes the banner across. All of a sudden, it's the trooper. There's Eddie and the British flag. And you're setting the tone for the next song. But these songs all go into a hybrid of A to Z. They're all sitting inside of it, so you do keep them within the context of the record. You don't want to go bagpipes on there. Bagpipes. So yeah, I'm happy about them. I've had a couple of people say those parts are weird for them. They don't seem to work for them. I've had other people say that's the coolest part of the record. I've had other people say you should extend those parts because some of the riffs within those are the coolest things on the record. I've had other people say they're too long, shorten them. They're cool, but they're too long. And that's all just what it is. We're pleased with them, and accept them or don't.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, King, about your lyric writing process. Specifically, do you go into a record like, I guess, I mean, kind of having an idea of what you do write as you go as you're writing the songs? Are you writing the lyrics, or do you wait till you have the music and have a full vibe for the music overall that you have, and then you start working on lyrics as you're?
I'll let the guys know when we start writing something what kind of vibe of the song I'm looking for. If it needs to be something speedy and aggressive, short, something that's going to take some detail and some time length into the record. As far as that, I've got titles in my head. I've got ideas for things. Things may switch around. I may have something that's, okay, this will be first, this will be second. Then all of a sudden I'll think to myself at some point there, well, really, this might be third because I feel something that I just came up with in my head moves to second, which moves it out. I will say this, when we wrote the record, all the songs were written in order of the record. And that doesn't happen a lot with us. Wow. And I think it only happened one other time, which oddly enough was the other concept record, Fearless. So all these songs were written in order. Children of the Morgue, we kept moving that piece around because we didn't know how we wanted to start the record. And one day I told Mike, I said, we got to come in with the riff. You just got to come in with the riff. We took that. That was our influence of an Operation Mindcrime. We used that Revolution Calling piece because to me, that's one of the best albums ever, concept wise and anything else. But as far as the lyrics, other than that, yeah, I'm happy to say they're detailed more. There's more going on in the songs. I would say more. This might be up for question, but they're more intelligent. The early days, it was what rhymes with blood, what rhymes with death, what rhymes with this. It was easy topics. Let's do grave robbing. Let's do Armageddon. Let's do some crazy guy with a fucking knife kind of stuff. And I've got a lot more to say. In this record here, the concept would have just been a real disaster, piece of crap, piece of shit, had we not taken it where we wanted to. And it did affect me. It really did. I need to, and I will step away from something that deep for a while. It really put a fucking humdinger on me because I lost my stepfather last year, and you're sitting here and all I'm doing is watching death and more death and death and more death. So, but the lyrics, the lyrics did take, did get strong and thought out and I think provoking because of it, and everything came together like I wanted it to. And yeah, most of the time when I do the lyrics, it's an idea or a title in my head. We'll start writing the music, and then the lyrics all pretty much 99% of the time come after the music. They do. I hear it when we're writing it and I'm arranging it and changing some ideas around. I'm thinking melodies in my head and things while it's happening, and only I in the room really know what it's about at that point. So, that's my thing. That's my solos on the record, so to speak.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely, that's one of my favorite parts. And some people think some of the songs are lengthy, too long. Maybe sometimes people think too many lyrics. Sometimes I've heard, and that's all fine and dandy. It's just, I have to have the complete story or I don't have any of the story.
Right. King, let me ask you this, because this is such a tremendous cerebral concept of an album, is there any chance would you ever want to, or is there a chance any of us could see this album played in its entirety? I know that kind of seems to be a cool thing to do these days, but
I'm up for that. To this day we've done Fearless in its entirety, I think twice, but we've never, I shouldn't even say that, we've never done it because we've never done Contamination from that. We've done the other instrumental on there, but we've never done the spoken thing from Fearless. Right. But yeah, I'd be totally into that. I love the songs. I'd love to be able to do it and pull it off. We all can do it. That's one of the reasons why there's so many leads now and so much, guitar harmonies, just some more produced and more detailed arrangements and ideas. Yeah. We can do them as time went on. I've mentioned this in interviews over the years. I remember we did Supernatural Addiction, and people were like, "Oh, look, they're trying to be In Flames now," and we were not trying to be In Flames. We were trying to be Iron Maiden, which is what In Flames was trying to be. Things we like to do, but we couldn't pull off guitar harmonies. We couldn't pull off the leads, and we weren't going to do them where you can quote unquote fake them in the studio. We wanted it, whatever we did, we could turn around and reproduce it live. The first time we did something that we could not reproduce live, and one of the only times we've done that was a song called "The Kept," which was the lead-off track on "Has the Weird Travel On," which has a 3 guitar part in it. We've never played it live because we don't want to sell it short.
Sure.
If we get all 3 guys on stage and do our Allman Brothers jam, then we can do it. But we won't go out there and just simplify to make it happen. We practiced it when we wrote it and things like that. But once we got in the studio and layered it, we're like, oh man, there's double this and that. And there's only 2 guys, and you could buy effects and things like that. That's just not a Deceased kind of world.
Right. No, I think fans appreciate that too. I mean, at least I do from my standpoint. You listen to albums and it's a listening experience, and you can have 14 layers or whatever, and I enjoy that, but it just sells it short when they try to reproduce it on stage with,
I'm sure both of you guys have gone to see bands and that you like, and they've done a song. You're like, man, that doesn't even close to the record. Now I'm not expecting to hear the record. I don't want it to be so far scaled down that why even do it? Why even go there?
Yeah, I mean, there's room. I think I agree. I mean, there's room in a live experience. I don't necessarily want to hear it exactly like the record, but like you said, for sure, sometimes it's just so far that it's just it's rough.
Perfect example here: Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen. There's no damn way. There was no damn way they had to tape all that or not play it.
Right.
And it was the biggest song in the world when it came out. It was instantly considered an instant classic. They had to bring the tape out, And look at Kiss. They couldn't do Beth with the symphony. No. They had to put it on tape and have him sing over it.
Yeah.
Pretty high when he did it, but he did sing over it.
I got a question for you, King. Butch and I recently did an episode based on, our favorite drummers, and, was it really, really hard for you to step out from behind the kit and take over the frontman role? How'd that work for you?
Well, going all the way back, when I first started, I played bass for a little bit. I was horrible, still horrible. That was 1980. I was 12. I had a friend that I went to 5th, 6th grade with, and he moved to Savannah, Georgia when I was in Virginia. He wanted to do a band. We did a little thing called Slack Tide. I don't know where that came from, but that was his doing. And we went down there, me and a guy named Andy who was in 5th grade. Me and Bill were 6th. And we did Rock and Roll Fantasy from Bad Company. We did Love Gun. We did Train Kept a Rollin' Aerosmith version. We did My Sharona. And we did You May Be Right, Billy Joel. First song I ever sang live and played bass to. And I wish we had a tape, a video or something, because I'm sure it was shit. 12-year-old kids, Friday night, I trash your party, whatever. But when that happened and went on from there, when the next thing came along, I just sang. I had a little short-lived band called Messenger in '83, and I just sang. And I didn't even know the microphone at the time. When we would practice, I would sing into a bucket to make it echo and come through. And we actually cut a demo called Fuck You. We really did. It was a Twisted Sister, raunchy kind of thing. One of the songs was called Grinding Heads. It was the same riff as Welcome to Hell, 2 Minutes to Midnight. It was the same thing. Not on purpose, but just how, I guess, a lot of people hear that. So when I was starting to do the heavier stuff, looking for something with Deceased, I had a friend named Marcel who was playing drums, and I was going to play bass again. And I remember going to a pawn shop and talking my mom into buying me a pretty cool SG copy looking bass. This was about 83, but I just wasn't good at it. I just wasn't good. Doug had started playing guitar. He would show me how to do things more so. And I was like, it took me so long to learn the Mike Sharona doom thing that I was just like, this isn't for me. And I was thinking drums. And I had a friend named Andy whose brother turned us on to Jethro Tull, Rush, Kansas, all those, progressive, not progressive, heavy hard rock bands of the 70s, 80s. And he had a band called All Points Bulletin, and he had a drum set. And I'd go downstairs sometimes when he wasn't home, and he'd like, let's go play my brother's kit. And I'd play it. I'm like, I ain't too fucking bad, and this is again 79, 80, 81. I just kept it in the back of my mind. Well, Marcel fell in love with his girlfriend more than the band. So he'd leave his drum set hanging around, and I started playing it. And I loved playing it, but I didn't have any teaching, any training. I'm left-handed. I don't even cross when I play. I play like this. And the guys were like, wow, that was okay. I mean, I would call myself a 3 out of 10 when we started Deceased, and was also a sloppy ass drunk PCP head cocaine addict. So my brain was clouded. When I quit all that in 87 and we came back to it and started jamming in 88, I'd gone up to about a 7. I thought, man, I went up 4 steps just from getting sober.
Sure.
And I started loving doing it, and I started getting into all kinds of shit and learning. Like Phil Earhart's my favorite drummer. He's from Kansas. I love
awesome.
Carl Palmer. You know, you get to your metal drummers and things like that. I love Leonard Hayes from Y&T for the single bass. I love me some Scott Rockenfield. I love, you know, of course, the Maiden drummers, the Anvil drummer, and of course, away from Voivod and Dave Lombardo from Slayer. So I really started to like pay attention and getting pretty good at it. But I'm also singing. Yeah. And I'm always like, well, I can split my mind and it is what it is. But no matter what I want to say or what people come up with, oh man, I've never seen anybody like that. You're tight as shit on both and blah, blah, blah. I know my mind. I'm selling both of them short a little bit. And being the hyperactive guy I've always been, not, well, yeah, I guess so now still at 56, but just imagine me at 20, you know, doing this kind of shit. I was always like, I need to get my butt cheeks off this drum stool. I need to get, you know, I would rather be out front I'm not a singer, but I can sure as fuck entertain.
Right.
So in 2001, 2, 2001 or 2, I don't know which one it was. We decided, I had another band called October 31, and we decided then that I wanted to be the singer for that band only, but we couldn't find a drummer. So I did both. Then we found a singer, and I was just going to be the drummer. But both times we had a singer, neither of them could hold on, so it never fell into place. So the first time I ever sang live in front of people as a frontman was at Wacken in 2001 in front of 20,000 people.
Wow.
Out. And Dave, our drummer for October then, he had never played drums for us either, so it was wild. And when we finished, the guy that ran Wacken goes to me, goes, man, you were fucking great front man. You were awesome. Remind me of Ozzy Osbourne and, you know, the big, you know, just you had a great presence. If you ever want to come back. And I was like, well, shit, I got another band Deceased, man. He goes, what? He goes, well, is it like that? I said, it's heavier. He goes, you're counting it. You're on Wacken 2002. So we went back the next year, and I was still playing drums a little bit for then. And that was the first show Dave, who was in October 31, ever played drums for Deceased. And that was the first time I ever sang out front for Deceased. And same thing in front of thousands of people. And I loved it. So I was like, well, damn, I missed the drums, but I love being out front. My butt cheeks are released to the world. I'm up front. I can run around. And it probably was best that I was at least a little older, because had they caught me in my terrible teen years and being up front, I'd probably done some outlandish, crazy shit, because people were doing that shit at shows too. So I figured, well, shit, I'm always going to write the drums. At least I still got the drums. And that's what I did. I still write all the drums for everything we do with Deceased. So I'm at band practice doing that. I still love being out the front man, so I'm getting that too. So I guess there's nothing that's really missing from me, you know? People like, oh, I'd love for you to do a show where you sing and play drums and at the same time. And that can't really happen. I mean, I actually did do it twice in the early 2000s, because in 2004 I had a stroke. So my left side is trashed. And I could still play, but even when I recorded and I was on drums for Surreal Overdose, we had to do a song. Give me a minute. Let's do another song. And we had to piece, you know, like we'll get to a part where there's a stop. Okay, let me stop. I can't hold the stick. My two pinky and the next finger are destroyed. Can't hold the sticks like that. But when you're playing live, you can't do that. You don't just stop and go, give me a second and we'll play the next part. But our one drummer we had for a while, Eric Mays, he got sick. He actually passed away in 2014. Right before that, we were playing shows and we were there. And I said, where's Eric? He said, man, he's really sick. He couldn't make it. And I'm like, well, shit, well, guess we're going to have to cancel the show. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I know these fucking songs. I think I can still play it. And we pulled it off. I mean, I would hold on tight, and there might have been one little witchy-watchy fucking thing, but we made it, you know? And it was cool for what it was. But I don't miss playing live like that. I did it to get through the weekend. We had 2 shows. We did one in New Jersey and one in Buffalo. And we made it, but I don't have any I don't miss it. I don't miss it as far as playing it live at all. I love writing it, and I still want to do that. More than anything, I'm more sad that I lost part of my body because of the stroke. That's the worst part, because I'd love to just jam with somebody. I mean, I've done that. I've had friends and they're like, I know you can still play this. And we'll sit in the basement. I remember doing like Queensryche covers with some friends. They're doing some Venom or Iron Maiden with somebody else, and I can still do it, but it's not the same as I could. I'm not full force. So at my best, I was an 8 to me. I was an 8, and I'm probably playing it live now about a 4. But I still feel like when I'm on and those good days, I mean, I could take steroids if I wanted to and do all that, but I don't do that. Yeah. I just want to, I don't go in with anything. My wife has rheumatoid arthritis very bad. She has to live on steroids a lot of times. We all know that's not good for you, but it does turn everything to, where you need it to be. But, I would never do that.
Right.
So to make the answer even longer, that basically how I feel is I'm still happy to write, but I don't miss it on the live front.
Gotcha.
Yeah. See, when you sing live, like when you go out on the road, I think people take it for granted sometimes. A lot of people, when they talk about metal and singers, especially more extreme stuff, they don't realize the wear and tear that they just think it's some people think it's easy to sing in the style that you do when it's not. So what do you do to take care of your voice? Is there anything special you do when you're on the road? Or
I don't do shit right, man. I don't do shit right. I literally, even when we record an album, I'm going to use the new one as an example, but it happens to every record we've done, at least probably since Fearless. I like to sing until I blow my voice out, erase everything I've done. And then I know where my voice is going to stay. And I know what I can do. When I say I blow it out, it's not so much blown out. It's just, it's beat up. But now I know I can literally like work with it. I've had times on the road where I'm like, I'm like, they're going on 10 minutes. And they're like, dude, you can be able to sing, you're hoarse. I'm like, dude, I stay that way. First off, I don't shut up. That's my first thing. So I'm not like quiet all day drinking honey and things. I'm chugging down milk. Dairy's not good at all. I got yelled at when we did Fearless by the producer, Jim Barnes. He's like, I don't want you drinking any fucking milk. And we're over there eating cereal. And he throws his fucking shoe at me or his hat or something. He's like, there's fucking milk in that. He freaked out. And I'm like, look, dude, I know what I can and can't do. But when we play live, I mean, literally, here's an example. The other night I went and saw Abominog, my friends in Abominog, on Saturday. And Chris like, man, we're going to play Dr. Mortis. You better come up and do the backups, man. So my part was Dr. Mortis twice. I walked back after that part to the back where the merch guys were, my friends were, and I went, oh, there goes the tour we're about to do. I couldn't even, I was hoarse. I was like Lemmy. And I get like that on tour and I stay that way, but it's weird. It locks itself in. We were coming back from the tour with, I think it was Bulldozer Tour, or maybe it was something else. But the last show we were done, we were coming home, we were listening to Kiss Unmasked and the song Naked City. And I found a spot in my voice where I could hit this really super duper Paul Stanley Who vocal thing, and I found it, and the merch girl was like, oh my god, I was holding it for like 40 seconds, perfect pitch, nothing, I wasn't straining, nothing. She's like, how did you just do that? I'm like, I couldn't do it if I wasn't blown out, if I wasn't where I was, but it was just some spot in there that I found where that noise was, and I just held it. It was crazy. But like right now, if you told me to sit here, it would take me, I'd like to play 2 songs, scream my guts out. I mean, scream my fucking mind out, and then I'd lock in. But I do it a lot from the chest. When we were mixing, or actually when we were mastering the As the Weird Travel On record, the guy goes, man, I do a lot of this death metal, and most of these vocals suck. But he goes, you're good. You sound like a bear. You sound big and convincing. All these guys sound like there's something stuck in their throat. And I'm pulling. I almost broke my lung when we did Ghostly White. I think I dislocated part of my left lung from just pushing.
Wow.
With everything I've got. So I give it my all, I do, but I don't take care of myself. I don't shut up. I'm at the merch. Looks like we're doing right now. Yeah, you been, man. Great to see you. Fuck yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they still suck. And they're the best. And just an hour later, I had my doctor's like, you burn more calories just sitting in this fucking thing than I've ever seen anybody in my life. You're sweating, talking like you're just into it. I think that's just how my DNA. I was born.
Yeah. Tremendous.
Well, speaking of
don't come to me for any vocal coaching,
man. Speaking of being on the road, you got a brand new album. I know you got some big plans in the works here. So tell us, what can we expect from Deceased in 2025?
We absolutely do. We are going on the road December 6th is the first show. We're getting ready to do the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. We're doing 6th through the 14th in December, starting in Virginia, ending in Virginia, going 3 shows in North Carolina. We're going down to like Alabama and I think Tennessee and New Orleans and and Atlanta, Georgia. We're doing those. It's Mike Smith's first live shows.
Wow.
Complete shows since 2006. He's going to be playing guitar. We're going to be using Alan and Praveen are going to go out with us from Earthling just to kind of cover the tracks. Matt and Shane going to get through the holidays and just the work schedule. We did do a lot of stuff is coming up. We're going into the 40th year next year, and there's going to be a lot of stuff. Speaking of that, in March we go out with Coroner, who's coming to America for a tour, and this is going to be, and I'm going to look. This is going to be starting on March 5th in Philadelphia, March 6th, Baltimore, March 7th, Brooklyn, March 8th, Cambridge, Massachusetts, March 9th, Montreal, March 11th, Ottawa, March 12th, Toronto, March 13th, Cleveland, Ohio, March 14th, Chicago, March 15th, Indianapolis, March 18th, St. Louis, Missouri, the 19th, Nashville, Tennessee, the 20th, Atlanta, Georgia, the 21st, New Orleans, and then the 22nd, it ends at Hell's Heroes in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
So that's all coming up in March. That's going to have Mike Smith again coming out, but it's going to be Matt Eibach on guitar. It's going to be Les Snyder coming out and playing bass. He hasn't got to do a tour in a while, and he's going to come do that.
That's awesome.
Then in May, we're going out again. We're going to do Seattle, big fest in Seattle with Agalock and Hyrax, and I think Gore Guts is on there. And it's going to end at the Milwaukee Metal Fest about, I guess, 10 days later with Trouble's going to be on there. I think Down's one of the headliners. I don't know the other bands. Maybe I saw Exodus. Maybe I didn't see Exodus. I don't know. But we're going to do that. And in between that, we're going to hit all those states we've never been to. The North Dakota, the South Dakota, the Wyoming,
right.
the whatever's up there. You guys know more than I do. All those states at the top of the map that nobody goes to. We're going to go up there and have some fun. And then there's talk of going to Europe in August. There's other things that we're thinking about doing after that. And it's going to be a celebration of 40 years. We're going to have some special shows. We're going to try to get the family up there for some of the stuff. Yeah. And just go for it, man. I mean, that's what it's about. It's all, I'm 56, Mike Smith's 57. The other guys, I mean, we're the old guys. If Mark comes out and plays something, he's 57 too, but we're the older guys, but got to go for it, man. It's 40 fucking years. You got to do what you got to do. You got to go have fun.
Yeah.
It'll 100%. Be cool to do this thing in December. I haven't played the show in a while. I missed Hawaii. We had a Hawaii Fest a few weeks back. And I missed that due to possibly have had COVID for the first time ever. But I had a massive fever of 103 at some points, which I never get. I think last time I had something like that was a decade ago. So I didn't go to that. So I haven't played a show in a while. So especially that first show at the Golden Pony in Virginia coming up. Y'all better hold on tight because I got a lot to let loose. we're going for it, man. We're definitely going for it, And on top of that, we're also going to do this thing called March of the Cadavers. It's going to be a 2-album CD, I think vinyl, maybe double cassette even thing for next year, which will be I don't want to call it a greatest hits. It's not that. It's just the legacy of the band music wise. We're going to put
career
stuff
spanning, yeah.
Yep, going back to Luck of the Corpse up to the present, Children of the Morgue included. Just for some people to kind of, I guess, get a taste of everything we've done at each point in our lives. There's going to be 2 new tunes on there. One's called Dusted and one's called Cure for the Grieving Widow. They're both pretty much 4-minute rippers. They're not nothing too depth or in detail. They're just kind of some rippers for fun. We're doing Lady Lust from Venom. We're doing Die Young from Black Sabbath, which will be the first recorded Black Sabbath song we've ever done. And then we're doing 2 old songs, Sick Thrash and March of the Cadavers. Again, the title of the release, with me playing bass on that. It was the first song I ever wrote for Deceased. So I'll play bass on it. It's an instrumental. They're both from the first demo of 86. So we're going to do all that, and there'll be more fun stuff. Hell's Headbangers is talking about re-releasing Luck of the Corpse on vinyl again. It's been out for a while. And, I told them we'll do it, but you got to put a hand puppet in there. The Luck of the Corpse lady, they're going to do a hand puppet like the Burger King puppet.
Yeah.
To get me the little garbage bag thing. They agreed to it, so that's coming. Blueprints awesome. For Madness, double vinyls coming soon. Thrash Times at Ridgemont High is finally going to come out on vinyl. Those guys those guys have just been the best thing that's ever come to us, man. Those guys in Hills Headbangers, and we're all family. Those guys, us, we're all in this together, man. And we're going for it. We're going for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, Hell's Headbangers, hell of a label, to use another term.
They are a hell of a label for sure.
Butch, go ahead if you got another one.
Let's see what I got. Damn, I got to get my spectacles. See, I'm getting old.
It's all right. Mine right here, brother.
I'll ask you a quick. Well, you see, I don't even take mine off anymore.
Yeah,
I live
Mike
with
didn't even know he had his on.
I'm looking for them. They're on my face. King, I want to know, you're going to do a part 2 of the book. I know the book's been out of print for a while. It's hard to get. It's a great read. I don't happen to have my copy in front of me right now, but any chance you might re-release it with some extra chapters? Or
I'd like to. It's been out of print for about 5 years now. People ask all the time. It was fun, sad, happy, weird to write it. The guy Mike Sloan that helped me do it and pushed me over the cliff to do it. We got together early in the 2010, 11, 12, something like that. We played in Vegas. Maybe it was a little later than that, maybe even 13. He lived in Vegas. He said, you should write a book. You've done some crazy shit. I thought he was blowing smoke up my ass that he had his own company and stuff, which he ended up having. Got home. He called me for the next 3 years. We talked about it. He wrote about it. He gave me a finished thing in his mind in 15, 16, something like that. He read some of it over the phone. I said, it reads like a book report. I wasn't really that enthused. He was like, happily said, well, you fucking write it then. So I wrote it then. Came out, and I was really pretty pleased with what I got. It obviously stops in 18. A lot of things, good, bad, and awful, have happened since. Sure. So I've thought about writing a second book called I'm a Grandfather Now, which basically, being a grandfather, you can tell anything you want. You could talk about the little number next door, or you could talk about children growing up the right way, or you could talk about what you've done in your lifetime, which is what I want to talk about anyway. You know, there's more life lessons to be told. I don't know if I want to connect the books as one giant new book or just put the first one and let this be the second one, which will come later. But people ask all the time, you can't find a copy on Amazon, eBay anyway. I don't know how anybody can get hold of it. I've given out some copies on PDF files to people on my, if you really want to read it here's the book. I don't have paper books anymore, but it's definitely going to happen at some point, either on its own, maybe, or with the new book included, or like I said, a bookend set.
Right.
That'll be great, because I've tried to find it, and like you said, it's nowhere to be found. There's, you go to like Amazon and there's a listing, but it's no copies available. So
I think I've seen one go through there in the last 5 years, and it was like $40 or something. I mean, even to me, I know when books go out of print, they go up a little bit. I hate that. That's like when I did the book, I told the guy, we're going to keep the cost down. I mean, most people's books now are $35. It's like, we got it out there for $14.99 when we did it. And I was happy as hell because we were into it 10. I was like, we pull $5. We get it out there. We fucking, it was the motherfucker though, when those books would show up, they were heavy as hell, man. I see why they offer media rate, man. It would show up. And I think I still don't know exactly the number we did. It was probably would have said that about 600 books. I think there was three. I think it was there was a 3 pressing, a 2 pressing, and a 1 pressing, something like that. Or maybe it was 4, 2, and 1. It was something around there, but they went quick, man. When I put it up and told people it was out, my copies sold out, and literally, I'd say the first day they were gone.
Yeah.
And it never took off to like be on Amazon Book Club or, any of that kind of stuff. They were interested, but I remember something we were talking to somebody about. They wanted to change it. They wanted to change the artwork. They wanted to, reword some of it. I write how I write. I don't try to write clumsily, but I write how I am. I don't use a lot of big words, and, maybe I don't put a proper comma here and there at times or this and that. And I think they wanted to just do all that. And to me, that depersonalizes it to me,
right?
I'm not trying to give somebody a fucking, a D- paper either, but I'm also, I'm not going out to spell anything wrong. It's not that. If you see something spelled wrong in there, that's an accident. It's not on purpose. But I mean, I think we found like 8 bloopers in the book when we were done. Like we might have spelled 8 words wrong. So, but yeah, they wanted a lot of changes, and I was like, no, man. The book's about not changing. It's about being yourself and letting yourself go. So it's like, you know what? Yeah, sure. Fuck that. Let's hear it. What are they going to do? Sell for an extra $5? We make $8 a book? Fuck that. But it'll happen, Butch. It'll happen, brother.
Awesome. That'd be awesome. Hey, just to go back to the touring for a second, I did mean to ask you, a lot of times when you talk to people that do tour, they'll talk about the differences between Europe and the States. Do you prefer one over the other, or do you have favorite places to play?
I like it all because it's all like just part of it. I mean, some places. I mean, there's always going to be if you're going to Mississippi, you're not going to get the same turnout you get in Chicago
Right.
or New York, but you better know that going in. And it's never been about the quantity. I mean, the quantity of people in the room. It's the quality. I've played to nobody, and I've played those Vakken shows to 30,000 people. You know, it's all fun. I'm there to entertain myself first and foremost. I'll have fun no matter what. Because when I was a kid, all I did was sit in my room by myself and lip sync to Kiss Alive 1 and 2. And, like my guitar's on fire to the Shock Me solo. But as far as playing, I mean, we get out, we go in a van, we do our thing, we roll as much as we can, we play as much as we can, we take care of ourselves the best we can. We're not made of money, and it's not about the money. Obviously the best you can do is the best you can do. You don't want to rip people off to get yourself ahead and don't think about others, because I do think about that. Those arteries, people have a lot to get there. It takes taking off work early, sitting in that traffic, got to get to traffic. Then most of the time, got to pay to park these days. You want to go in the show, I haven't had dinner, you got to get something at the bar. If they don't have it, you got to do DoorDash down to sit in your car. I've seen people like they won't let me bring the food in, but I haven't had dinner. I'll be in my car DoorDashing and things like that. Or you want to go in and you want to drink a little bit. Next thing you know, you're into all this fucking money.
Right.
And sometimes it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Monday night, even if it's the weekend, it still shouldn't be a ripoff. You don't want our merchandise where people can't I don't even have enough gas to get home because Deceased wanted to charge me $50 for a long sleeve. Fuck that. We're not about that. Punk rock, we try to be fair. We try to be fair for them, try to be fair for us on that type of thing. Ticket prices included. We want the sound to be good. We want everybody to have a good time. There to meet people. We're there to see friends, make friends, talk to, longtime pals and things like that. When we go to Europe, the only thing that's really different is they offer you usually a place to stay. You don't have to go find your own hotel or sleep in your car or your van or whatever you're in then. They'll give you gear. Most of the time the clubs have house gear, and you'll do that and you'll go stay somewhere like a B&B kind of thing that's included with, when they set you up. And that's fun. I am an American food kind of guy, more so myself. I like my steak and potato, my blue cheese salad. I'm that guy. I'm a big boy, but I try not to eat too much shit food. I'm not going to sit here and go Grease City. I'm just not that kind of guy. I like a lot of salads, believe it or not. I'm a salad guy. It's weird. But when we're in Europe, it's cool. I don't know Europe like I know America. I feel like I'm a long, long way from home because I am. Yeah. But we've been over there. We played in Prague. We've been in we were in a hotel. We went to Prague to play. We just played Keep It True. And we were sitting at a bus stop, and the guys were like, "Where's the bus driver to pick us up, take us to Prague?" I don't know, man. When it's pouring rain, we're sitting there for 3-4 hours. And I was like, I don't know. And they're like, well, call him. I'm like, I don't have an exact number for the guy. I'll call the booking agent. And he's like, the guy that's supposed to pick you up for the tour and be your bus driver, he broke his leg. Okay. Now the guy booking the tour's name's Luke. The guy that broke his leg, the tour bus driver's name is Luke. And the guy who's going to come to replace him, his name's Luke. And so all of a sudden I hear this, and there's a van in front of me. And the guy goes out, he goes, "Are you the band Deceased?" I was like, "Are you Luke?" He's like, "Who's Luke?" I was like, "Who are you?" He goes, "I have driven from Prague. I am a big fan of Deceased. They asked me, can anybody please drive from Prague to Germany and pick up Deceased?" So he's like, "What's one of your favorite albums?" I said, "Killing Technology." He says, "I have that in my phone. I will play it very loud. We will go 160 miles per hour on the Autobahn. We will go to Prague." So we all get in that motherfucker, and think I'm wide open. This motherfucker, we're gone. We're listening to Killing Technology concert level. He gets us to the show. We play the show. The show's over. They're like, "You're staying in town at this hotel." We go over there. They want all of our passports. I'm like, this is our first night over in Europe. I was like, I don't know about giving these motherfuckers our passports, boy. I was like, I don't think you're supposed to do that. And he's like, they just want to Xerox them. So, yes, they give them back. And I'm like, where are we staying? And they're like, well, you're staying in the other hotel. So we walk outside, and we noticed that the hotel we're at, the side wall to the place is missing. So there's no wall into the hotel there. It's torn down. It's open. You can see rooms that are like the street. You can walk into them from your street. Whoa. But second floor ones, they're like, you're not staying there. You're on this side. I'm thinking, well, if you let motherfuckers in that one, what the hell's in this one? So we go over there and we're watching a little bit of video clip from the show on my buddy Ed's phone. We're all on the balcony. The whole balcony starts shaking like it's going to disconnect from the fucking wall.
Man.
So I'm like, fuck this. So I go in a room. They're like, yeah, you sleep in that room. And I go in there. It's just a white room. There's nothing in there. It's just like the cream stuff. I'm in the white room and I'm sitting in that. I finally fall asleep. I mean, there's nothing in there but white light. Everything's painted this one bright white. So I fall asleep and I wake up and there's a guy standing over me with a big mustache. He goes, I am Luke. I am your bus driver. So this dude became my bus driver. And then we went on to Belgium and the Netherlands and Holland and in and out of Germany a couple of times and some other places. And it was fucking phenomenal. We had a blast. So many people had waited for so long because those aren't places we've visited a lot. We've been to Germany. Deceased has played Germany after what's about 5 times now, you know, at different spots and things like that. But we've never done like a lot of bands and got to go over there repeatedly. I've had people offers to go to Greece, to go to Italy, to go to Switzerland and Norway and France and England. We need to do all that stuff. But for me, I am an American guy. When it's said and done, I am an American guy. I like it over here, but there's no way in hell I don't want to go over there. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Australia and play all that shit. But I have not had the fortune to go over there. We have been to Mexico, though, and that was great, too. Mexico treated us phenomenal. I thought we were in Kiss that day.
That's awesome. That's outstanding, man.
All right, King, I think we're going to try a little game here with you, if you don't mind. And this is called a blind ranking. I'm going to show you 6 random albums, one at a time. You never know what's coming, but there's only 6. So you have to rank these albums wherever you think they may lie between 1 and 6. Okay?
Even if I haven't heard them?
I'm pretty sure you've heard all of these. I won't go that far. So, Butch, if you don't mind kind of keeping track of where these fall. Okay, so these are just in complete random order. And if you happen to have a story that goes with any of these, feel free to expand a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right. This is album number 1. You're going to rank it somewhere between 1 and 6, whatever you think.
But let me ask you this for you. I see it now. Once I rank it, does it have to stay there if something comes along worse than it or better than it?
Yeah, it's got to stay there.
Oh, okay. This one here is a good one. It's probably their 3rd best. I saw them on their very first tour. Kirk Arrington could not play. Which was it? I think it was the guitar player that broke his leg. We saw him as a 4-piece on the first album tour.
Wow.
Did not ever see him with this lineup. I'm going to put that at 5.
5 it is.
It's a good album, though. I do like it. It's good vocals.
I think it's a little underappreciated.
Heretic too while you're at it.
Yeah. All right. Next album. Somewhere between 1 and 6. Metal Church is at 5.
I love Sharon with all my heart. It's hard to go low on that. I'm just afraid you're going to throw Killing Technology out there and fuck me. She knows I'm not the world's biggest guy. I'm going to put it at 4. I love Sharon. She's one of the most honest, best friends I've ever had in the scene. Positively my favorite female in all the underground. We've done a lot of crazy shit together. I've known her for 30 fucking plus years now. And I'm so happy. Me and her have gone through a lot of things together. We partied hard and gave up our booze and all that stuff too. But as a band, they're phenomenal. They're fun. I love them all. They're cool as fuck. So I'm going to go 4. I'm putting it over Metal Church just because I love her. But I know, truthfully, I wouldn't listen to it as much because I'm not a.
No, Sharon is the definition of good people, and I know Butch, you and Sharon have a friendship too. But she's fantastic.
I love Sharon to death, and my wife loves her too. We've been friends a long time.
If you don't, you should just leave the scene now.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, you ready for the next one?
I have to be.
All right.
Oh, that's a good one. Damn, where am I going to go with that one? See, I'm putting myself in a tough dilemma now. I'm going to put that at 6. I dig UFO. My Wild, Willing, the Innocent is my favorite. I don't like it. See, I don't like it more than the Metal Church record.
Okay.
I know that's odd to say. I don't have a UFO story. I saw them open. First time I saw UFO, they opened for Ozzy on Diary of a Madman,
Gotcha.
which I caught with Gillis, not Randy Rhoads. And they were on a mechanic store. They were great. I saw them a couple more times later when they came around. I never thought they were that good live after that. But I am a UFO guy, but I'm not a big UFO guy like a lot of people. So I'm okay with that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know a lot of people. It's weird. The more I've gotten to know people over the years, and UFO comes up as a subject, it really is. It's either absolute diehard or casual fan. It's kind of weird with that.
I'll admit it. I'm the same way with Thin Lizzy. There's stuff by them like some brilliant. Other stuff I'm like, yeah, this kind of sounds like Bruce Springsteen.
Well, Butch is gonna get you for that.
Yeah. It's the early stuff, Butch, for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of I'm a middle period. I mean, I love everything they've done, but yeah, definitely those early records. There's definitely a vibe to those that isn't for everyone. That's for sure.
My favorite. Just I know we're off top subject, but Thin Lizzy, "This Is the One" is my favorite Thin Lizzy song. So,
that's a great song.
Yeah, that's one. But yeah, well, I'll leave it at 6, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, so 4, 5, and 6 are taken. We're going for the top half here. Ooh, boy, living on the edge here. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Oh no! Oh yeah, it worked out well. I got to go number 1. That's got to be number 1. That and Killing Technology are my favorite Voivods. I want to burn them together in a fire. Let them be together. God, I love the way that looks great on your screen too. That's one.
It does.
That's one. That's one of the most barbaric, most fucking caveman-like, intense fucking pieces of album that's ever been released to the world. I knew you had to have Voivod in that motherfucker.
I wasn't gonna leave you hanging, King.
Going in. Now you got to come up with Megadeth. I'm gonna be like, shit.
All right, so we got Voivod at number 1. 4, 5, and 6 are full. 2 to go.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Jugulator.
I hate that record. I don't like. I'm telling you the truth. I don't even like Defenders of the Faith much. I literally left Priest after Screaming for Vengeance. I don't hate Defenders, but it's very spring breakish, bubblegum, mall 1984, colorful, heavy metal. It's underproduced. And then from there, obviously we all know where they went. And they tried to go with a Painkiller, which a couple songs are good, but even some of it's still goofy. I don't think it's a masterpiece. That stuff I can't fucking stand. And I'm gonna huff paint here and go to my dad. Oh, that shit sucks. I'm putting that at 567,000. I guess I'm going 3 with it. That's all that's left. That sucks.
We're gonna publish this list everywhere too. Okay,
yeah, that's fine.
It's gonna be like those movie reviews too, where people just cherry pick sentences out of like a review and put it on the poster. It's gonna be King Fowley thinks Jugulator is the number 3 heavy metal record of all time.
Oh man, I just want to eat human shit right now.
All right, well.
Oh, okay. Let's see what 2 is.
I think you'll be okay with this at the final number 2 spot.
And that would have been number 2.
Okay, that worked out pretty good then.
That works out good. I love Raven. Raven are great. John Gallagher's a great friend. I love them. I saw that basically the Live at the Inferno, which was still the All for One tour. Yeah. I saw that. I said to my friends at the show, I said, if Raven comes out and they open up with Live at the Inferno, the song, I'm going to light myself on fire. They came out. They opened up with Live at the Inferno. I lit my entire shirt on fire at the fucking Wax Museum. They opened. It was them and Raven. Raven was on Fistful of Metal.
Yeah.
And I lit my entire shirt on fire, patted it out, but I did what I said I was going to do. And at the end of the show, Rob Wacko Hunter threw the drum set out. I tried to pick up the bass drum and leave with it. It was, sir, excuse me, sir. Shit. Okay, that's fine. Now, if you were doing it for real, I would have gone Voivod. I would have gone Raven second. I would have gone Metal Church third. I would have gone UFO fourth, Arcada fifth, and Judas Priest sixth. Truthfully,
yeah,
but
no.
That Judas Priest is the only one in there. That's cow manure.
I had to put a stinker in there,
I knew there was going to be one, and I was like, which one's the stinker? I knew Voivod. I was waiting for you to put Uriah Heep Abominog, my favorite record of all time. I was like,
I almost did, and then I'm like, okay, that's going to be way too obvious. So I was like, I'll throw some Voivod in there.
You played your hand well, sir. It was fun. but out of all those, Sharon's my favorite because she's my dear friend, and Voivod are my dear friends, and John.
Sure.
So I give them a shout out. All the bands, even Judas Priest. I don't listen to it no more, but I don't wish anything on them.
No,
I don't wish any death on them. It's not like we're talking about Morbid Angel here.
I
don't even wish it on them anymore. Maybe a little.
Cool, man. That was fun.
King, I mean, I know from, we're friends on Facebook, so and from talking to you through Messenger and stuff over the years, and what communication we've had. Like, I know your taste in music is more diverse than people that don't know you would think. What are throw out some records that people would be surprised that you love, like, or some songs that are totally like out of.
I'm diverse as hell. I love tons of female fronted stuff. The one that throws people all the time, and not so much anymore because it became a running joke in the 90s and so on. I love my No Doubt. I love my No Doubt so much. More so like from Rocksteady back. It wasn't really the new one they did a few years ago was more like Wynn's solo, and Wynn's first one was good. Her second one was okay, but I love me some No Doubt. It's just when it came out in the 90s, everybody was like, woe is me, and grunge was so like, we're all dying of drugs. They were like the anti that. They were like the fun band. I'd go see them. It was so energy, and she'd climb to the top of the place and run around, and I felt like I was seeing like some kind of hybrid of Blondie and the Go-Go's, and yeah, they had some fucking some funky shit to it too, but and their ska stuff. But I thought they were just so neat. Another band I love a lot is a band called the Guano Apes, which is female fronted from Germany. Now, not all their stuff. They did about 3 years ago. They did an Eminem cover, and that's not going to work for me. But they have so much good stuff. It's almost like you get them at times where they're almost like Queens, not heavy like Queensryche back in their day, but they have just like this sound that's so like cool, like Promised Land era Queensryche and things like that I really like. And then I love the Carpenters. I love Linda Ronstadt, Alice Cooper. I love all that old rock. People like the Eagles. I love the fucking Eagles. Yacht rock, whatever the fuck they're calling it now. I dig that stuff. Yeah. Most of it, not every song. Witchy Woman, I love to see Candlemass cover that.
That'd make a great heavy song.
I mean, yeah, and I love weird stuff. Like there's a band called Operator Please from Australia. It was a bunch of kids. They got in a talent show. They cussed a bunch. They got kicked out of the talent show. So some guy goes, let's put out an album. And I listened to it. And it was this awkwardy punk, heavy, not heavy pop, I don't know, kind of thing. And then we could sit here and talk about Al Stewart, Year of the Cat. I don't know where we're going.
Song.
I mean, all that stuff. I can go detail with you. We can do the K-Tel, 10 hours of Ronco hits. Yeah. All of a sudden, we'll be talking about Sugarloaf and, fucking just bands that nobody talks about anymore. And not even just the hits. But I grew up with so much music. When I was growing up, I would be listening 1 minute to Shadow Dancing from Andy Gibb, or, Take a Chance from ABBA would be on the radio. I'm not even a big ABBA person, but Take a Chance from ABBA. And then I'd be like, man, put on that fucking Van Halen, I'm on Fire, or put on Jane from Jefferson Starship, all over the place. Right. And then when it got to underground, some people thought, oh, well, it's only going to be this and that. In 86, the best 3 records of 86 for me were Black Sabbath 7 Star, Queensryche Rage for Water, and fucking Sodom Obsessed by Cruelty. Those were like 3 of there was more of Voivod Roar, but that just shows you like the dimension of where I'm at. People are like, how can you listen to Rage for Water? They look gay as shit on this record. I'm like, they did look like transvestites from Transylvania on the record, but I was like, did you play the record? Listen to that fucking record. So yeah, I guess that's where I'd go. Maybe I'm trying to think of the weirdest thing. I can't stand rap. I hate rap. There's nothing rap I like. I don't ever want to hear anything. I hate when bands I like do it. They could teach their own, but I hate that. I think it's a disgrace. I hate fucking China Blast death metal where they blast with that 6,275 beats per minute crap with the fucking fly landing on the snare shit. I don't like that. But I'll listen to a good pop song. I don't think I've heard so many good pop songs in the last 20 years, but I guess if I was a couple good ones that may throw people off for me, Fly on the Wall, Miley Cyrus, that was a good song for what it was. It was at least catchy. Not her catalog and all that, but the song. Toxic, Britney Spears. There was a good radio song, not her whole history. I don't buy the albums. I'm talking about things I heard on the fucking radio. Fucking Livin' La Vida Loca was a great single. I miss just songs, man.
Sure.
Things come on the radio like, oh, this is the biggest song in the world, and you hear it, and you're like, you don't even know what it is. Ubby Dubby from fucking wherever, and it comes on, you're like, what the fuck is this for music? The fucking detuned voices and shit like that. I mean, I hear that and I'm like, whatever. I mean, again, if it's on the radio, well, I play it. I'm not going to go buy those kind of records, but I guess that's as awkward as I get. What was the song? There's another song I like too. The black guy did it. Shit. I forget his name, but he had a real funky soul song about 10 years ago. It was good.
Bruno Mars, something by Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. It was that I am happy. That song Happy.
Oh, that's a great song. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Yeah, I know exactly.
If you say the artist's name, I'll.
It starts with a. I think his name starts with a. Oh, it's. I had it just in my. Starts with a P. Farrell Williams or something like that, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good single. Now we're totally talking. Budweiser presents, Marlboro presents, kind of world out there.
Yeah.
But when we were growing up, trust me, they were doing the same shit with David Soul, Don't Give Up on Me, Baby, and Andy Gibb and all that stuff. That was all marketed the same way, Leif Garrett and all that shit.
Sure.
And it was what it was. It's just nowadays the radio comes on and it's just bad. Even at least where I live, the rock radios, they play 8 songs, man. They play Bohemian Rhapsody, You Give Love a Bad Name. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. Hotel California, The Stranger from Billy Joel, Elton John, maybe 1 or 2 of his fucking same old songs. And that's about all we hear.
Yeah,
we're like every day we're going nuts. It's weird. Like, the one song that breaks through, what was the song? Oh, Jesse's Girl. We're up here in Philly. We're like, who the fuck still listening to Jesse? It's on every day. It's like, this motherfucking song's played like once every 3 hours here. It's like at least 8 times a day they play Jesse's Girl. I don't hate the song, but I'm like, it's weird where I'm at.
Yeah.
To hear that.
Yeah.
And that's
weird.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's odd that the radio to me is. I mean, it's all the radio has always kind of been aimed at a more mainstream kind of thing, or But in the '80s when I was growing up, I heard a lot of stuff for the first time on WYSP out of Philadelphia or WZZO in Allentown. I would hear like Metallica during. They would play Fade to Black during regular hours. I heard Shooting Star on college radio.
We used to have DC 101, which was considered one of the hardest rock stations in the country. You would hear, truthfully, every day, you would hear, Are You Ready to Rock, Michael Schenker Group. You'd hear, I Like to Rock, April Wine. You'd hear Shooting Star, almost an entire Hang On for Your Life album. They'd play, Flesh and Blood. They'd play Breakout. They'd play Hang On for Your Life. They play Are You on My Side? They play Hollywood. That's 5 songs on Shooting Star right there. They used to do a thing called Midnight Metal, which was fucking unreal. They would do every Monday night, they would play an album all the way through at midnight, the entire album. And I give you my word, I taped them. Man of War battle hymns. Baron Rojo, Volume and Brutal.
Wow.
Tank, fucking Power of the Hunter, fucking Heaven, Bent, the first Heaven record, Fist, Thunder and Rock, Sound Barrier, Total Control. These were played. This is how I got into these bands. Y&T, Black Tiger. It played in its entirety. These bands all were new to me. And I'm trying to understand what they're saying. And they're not giving you track listings ever. So I remember the first time, here's a quick one, when I heard Man of War. Okay, side 2 opens up with Man of War, it's born to live forevermore. I thought he was saying Matterhorn. And I wrote it. I always wrote them down, like what I thought the songs were. You'd have to guess the songs, but they did so much shit. I mean, the first Vandenberg was on there. Triumph, Never Surrender. Some more like radio, stuff you'd expect. But dude, we got Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. I even remember when they had a rock war and they had the Rods, Too Hot to Stop against Dirty. It was TNT from AC/DC, and the Rods won it 51-49. The guy's like, I don't even know what the hell this Rods thing is, but they just beat AC/DC, who was the biggest fucking band in the world. This is like 82, 83. And I was like, holy shit. And I remember hearing Hatred from Man of War on a Sunday episode. I think I still have that tape. And the thing that sucks, because for the movie getting made on me, the guy was asking, you got any of those old tapes? I still have a couple of the tapes, but they're recorded over. And the reason they're recorded over was I went out and bought the records. Yep. I still have tapes that say like Saxon, Strung Him with the Law. And the other side, it says like Tank or Fast Way was another one. Or even like bands like the Hellcats or Louis Tricot Live or one of the later Nazareth records. It was every Monday for like fucking years, man. I mean, who the fuck plays Baron Rojo and
Nobody.
It was not, and again, not just one song. Like, do you like this? It was fucking, here's side one, and then 30 minutes later, here's fucking side two.
Wow.
And I would just tape and tape. One of my favorite tapes I had was Anvil Metal on one side and the Rods Wild Dogs on the flip side. And that's how I got lucky on a lot of those bands. I didn't have the money then. I didn't have the money. I didn't even know who those fucking bands were. I wouldn't have known what the fuck to buy a Y&T, you know.
Right.
I went out and bought the Yesterday and Today record one time, which was the pre-Y&T, obviously the longer named band. And I played it. I'm like, man, this sounds like Y&T. And for like 30 minutes, I'm listening to it. I'm like, wait a minute. Yesterday and Today. That's Y&T. That's the dudes. Got it for 99 cents and some cutout thing. And I was like, yeah, that is Y&T. So
That's the best buck you ever spent.
Even at 56 puts a smile on my face, gives me that passion to keep doing it. It's just, I mean, I'm just like, man, all this is just a fucking hell of a fun ride, man. And to have the memories too, and have them straight up and like clear as a bell for me, it's fucking it means the world to me. All the shows we've done, everything good, bad. The bad doesn't need to stay in there, but it seems to. It's neat to have it in there. If you ever ask me about anything, you know, I could tell you the last time we talked a few days ago. I could tell you that whole conversation again. And that's weird. I don't know. I saw Mary Lou Henner has a memory like that, but I don't have her tits. So.
Hey, I've got one for you that the guys at Penance would tell me this story about. They told me a story that you drove up from Virginia to Pennsylvania Arlington one time with no brakes.
I did. We went to see Voivod. My girlfriend let me borrow her car. I had no brakes at all. We did the entire mountain there from Breezewood, Pennsylvania, all that. We did the whole thing, no brakes, saw Voivod and made it back. And when we made it back, I picked her up and we were going down and she won $50 in a scratch ticket. So we went to turn around and go back in the car again to go get the $50 from the 7-Eleven. And I was driving and I was speeding and a cop pulled me over. He jumped in front of the car and he went, stop. And I couldn't stop. I went around him and he came over and he pulled me out of the car. He's like, why didn't you obey my command? I was like, dude, my brakes went out. So he got in the car and I was like, dude, try them. And he was like, wow, you're right. He totally didn't, he thought they just happened then. That's what my story was. And it had been like that for fucking forever. Dude, Terry Weston fucking rules, man. I stayed at his house so many times, all those guys, man. Rich, fucking Mike Smale, we go. And that's what got us to Greg Beal and Don and obviously Sharon and Terry and all them too. But yeah, that happened for sure. Terry asked Terry sometime about how I gave him my St. Vitus shirt I ordered from SST Records, and ask him if he remembers that he was in love with the girl from the Spring Break movie, Corrine Alphen. And when you still see him at all, Butch?
Once in a great while, I do. Not as much
as
I would like to.
This because you're not going to have the King Fowley memory, but Corrine Alphen was the girl in Spring Break movie in '83. He had the penthouse, and it was like the most important item he owned. And he would to go tell him or ask him when my pregnant wife, my girlfriend of 9 months, he gave me his Anthrax Soldiers of Metal 7-inch, and my pregnant girlfriend, it was mine. I just got it from on the trade. I put it on the bed. She sat there, but I was 9 months pregnant. She had to sit down, sat right on that motherfucker.
Oh man,
he'll remember. He tried to push Nirvana on me one time. The Nevermind. I was like, this shit's fucking garbage. I don't want this fucking thing. Actually, it was Bleach. It was Bleach, and I was on the B side. And then he was like, "What are you listening to?" I said, "Robin Trower." He goes, "Let me hear it." And then it was the Bridge of Sighs. And as soon as he heard it, he goes, "I'm keeping this tape, you know."
Yeah.
I love those guys. That's special to me too. First out of state show ever was with them in Revelation. At that old Electric Banana, and Johnny and Judy gave us fucking hot dogs and hamburgers and fucking French fries. And I think they gave half the group food poisoning. Luckily, I wasn't one of them.
Oh man.
And then you can go ask Sharon and them about me stealing the Miss Pac-Man machine out of the hotel, throwing it out the window of the hotel, the $2,000 sit down 2-player Miss Pac-Man. That's when I was crazy. Now I'm just old and goofy.
Well,
but if you do see those guys, I miss them. I love them.
I got one more thing. I guess
when I see them, I'll definitely bring some of that up.
Yeah, whatever, Mike. Go ahead. I'm listening, brother. I'm right here.
No, sorry, Butch. I'm talking over everybody. I was going to bring up one more thing, and I guess we could probably wrap it up too. So my name is Mike Smith. and I've been doing promotions and booking bands and stuff for, better part of the last 10, 11 years. So just my name being mixed in with everything else, it's heavy. A lot of people thought that I was your Mike Smith. And King, I can't remember what album it was, but I think I remember you sending me demos for one of the albums saying, hey, tell me what you think, make your marks here and all that. And I had to write you back, say, nope, wrong Mike Smith. Sorry, man.
I remember that.
Do you really?
Dude, I've had that happen so much. In the old days of Facebook, sometimes they would just, if you typed it, it would go to, boop, 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 and it would start doing this. This actually happened to me about 3 raffles ago. It started sending out people like, dude, I didn't order this. I didn't win this. I'm like, why is this fucking doing this? That was a Facebook quirk, right?
Yep.
They still, I don't know how you guys feel about Facebook. For me, it's quirky as shit. And as I said last time we talked, somebody came in there and tried to take all my shit away, and I had to like do all these weird dial in those 6 numbers, and those. You guys have to do that too in those little boxes, like when you're using your phone, if not your PC or your laptop. It's fucked up. I do remember that. And there was another guy, Jason, what's his last name? I can't remember, but he'd always be like, dude, I didn't order this shirt, man. I'm like, I didn't send this to you. I sent it to the other one, but like Jason Mitchell. There's 2 of them. Okay. And Mike Smith, I can see that for sure.
Well, they used to get me
put it out as a flexi disc.
Oh, definitely. I made a killing, man. They used to goof me up with Mike. They used to get me goofed up with Mike Smith from Suffocation too. And we really look completely different if you know who that Mike Smith is. So, and I never understood. I'm like, just look at the picture, guys. It's very obvious.
That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, I mean, it's been a hell of a ride. We're still going to do our thing in closing, and we're ready to just keep on doing it. I'm ready to get out and start playing these shows. We got a week, I know this will go on after Thanksgiving, but I want to wish you guys happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, definitely happy Thanksgiving to you.
It's all about friends. We're all in this together. Ain't none of us better than the other one, man.
Hell yeah.
You're selling hot dogs or you're on stage trying to sell your music or play your music. We're all in this together, man. Like I said at the one show in North Carolina, it's all beef and it's all metal, and we're all in this together, my friends.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, King, it's been an absolute honor. Thank you so much for joining us and letting us pick your brain. Butch, anything in closing?
Thank you guys too, man. Thanks so much. I wish you well with the show.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I just reiterate what Mike said. Thanks for coming on. It's great to talk to you. And I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing you guys in Cleveland. I'll have to make that trip in the spring.
Yeah, come on up. It'll be fun. I mean, No Class is a little echoey room, but I love the people that run it and stuff, and it's just a nice place to get those people together and stuff. I know it's just far enough to be a fucking headache from Pittsburgh. I don't know why. No Pittsburgh show. I guess it is what it is. It's kind of we're kind of that way in Philly. We got a few places to play, but right now it's not really like any like really good spot. That's like sometimes it's not big enough. Yeah. Other times it's too big. You need that certain.
I think that's the issue with Pittsburgh is the rooms like their 31st Street Pub or Howlers, where I mean you get the Shred Shed out in Allentown, but it doesn't seem to be a room that like would fit something it's either too big, like Stage AE would probably be too big. So I guess the fun house at Mr. Smalls would be, but then it's how it is. It's like tour promoters like deal with certain clubs and this and that. So we get tons of stuff like Skip Sus just goes to Youngstown.
You mean up there in Ohio, the bowling alley?
Yeah.
That's a wild
place. That's a cool place, man. That's a cool vibe down there. It reminds me of the pub.
I played it twice. I played it upstairs and downstairs. We were playing gutter ball metal. I called it that day. We're gutter ball metal. Yeah, come on. But yeah, that's great, man. I appreciate you guys, and I'm wishing you well.
Same to you, man. Thanks so much.
And please, we would love to have you back on at a later date. Anytime you want to jump on.
Anytime. Mike, you get right back to me anytime. Even if somebody else canceled, if I need to like dress up like somebody, like you're supposed to have, Pippi Llama stocking on or something, we can make it work, man.
You got it. All right. I'm Merciful Mike and my partner,
Butch Balich.
Thank you, King Fowley. We appreciate it. King Fowley, Bullwinkle, right?
Gutter ball in the alley.
All right. We will see everybody on the next episode of For the Sake of Heaviness.